Live from Bowling Green, Tennessee at the Western Kentucky University Intramural Sportsplex, two MTAC North teams looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. The defending MTAC champions South Haven Christian School Patriots will receive for the first half in the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. Good evening, everybody. Spencer Thompson along with James Shannon, ready for the call of a lifetime as both teams fight for their life in the MTAC playoffs. The South Haven Christian School Patriots, no one expected this start for them to begin the season. 0-2, losing a close one last week against the Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights and losing to the Webb School Feet, and they're also trying to fight for their life in the playoffs. And Bowling Green Christian Academy, they're 2-1, but they've lost to the North. So essentially, as James predicted in Extreme Talk and on Extreme Radio, whichever team loses tonight, their season and playoff hopes are on the brink. And James, this is almost something you never see. The defending MTAC champions at any point have not started out winless, or they've at least put up more of a fight, much like they did against Sacred Heart last week. What is the path to recovery for the South Haven Patriots?
Well, for South Haven, it's just gaining experience, and they've got a lot of young guys. It doesn't help tonight that their young guys are out. Manny Dang has a sling on his arm. Cole Laird, this is his second week in a row that he's out. And like I said, it's just inexperience, and that does not help them at all. But on the flip side, the guys with experience have to help.
And Emmanuel Dang out because he was injured in that Sacred Arm game last week. That's a crucial loss for South Haven, and they're praying, as we had last week, respect them out of that.
I pray that you keep each young man from injury. I pray for safety. Father, I pray that all that is said and done is glorifying to you. May both teams put forth their best effort tonight. We thank you again for this opportunity. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. If you would, please remain standing for the
national anthem. And back on us again, Spencer Thompson, James Shannon, live from the Western Kentucky University Intramural Sportsplex. Now, for the Bowling Green Christian Academy Warriors, they're 2-1. They've had one loss on their season, and that was to the Tennessee Heat. Always crucial to lose games in the North. What's the game plan tonight for the Warriors to get a win in the North and potentially secure their second spot in the North Division?
Well, it's got to be their line. It's got to be their line play. They have not been proficient on either sides of the ball in terms of in the trenches. They're going to have to step that up tonight. South Haven is solid at times, but they do have a sophomore quarterback, and when he gets chased around and beat up, he's going to suffer. So if you're Bowling Green, you want to get up after that quarterback. You want to pressure that inexperienced young quarterback. For Bowling Green, you've got a senior quarterback. You got to protect him. You got to make sure nothing happens. But I think it's a massive loss tonight for South Haven to have Dang and Laird out.
South Haven fighting for their life in the playoffs, and so are the Warriors because they are 1-1 in the North. South Haven 0-2 on their season, fighting for their playoff rights.
And a quick update, of course, Swanee plays their home games at 4 o'clock, so that game is wrapped up. And FCA went down to Swanee, picked up the 30-16 win, so Falcons pick up the first one of the year. Let's play some ball.
We're going to switch over to the camera here for MTAC football. And the ball being kicked off here for the South Haven. So South Haven elected to receive, and we are underway in this North matchup. The ball going back to about the 2-yard line. Picked up by 22 of the Patriots, Nathan Starnes, going up the middle. Nathan Starnes weaving through. He stopped at about the 22-yard line. And there is a flag on the play.
Davis with the kickoff. Tackle by number 32 of the Warriors.
13.
Tanner Brown with that tackle.
So we did miss the penalty.
Flag on
We did
the
miss
play.
there's a flag on the play.
And it's against the Patriots. Penalty on number 13 for the Patriots. They'll bring it back to the point of the foul. Looks like about the 4-yard line, maybe the 3. 1st and 10 for the Patriots. Let's make some noise for our Warrior defense now.
Going to get our first taste of Andrew Crawley tonight. With Frankie Gagliano in the backfield.
So Gagliano in the backfield. Rush up the middle by Franklin Gagliano. Gets
Run
stuffed.
up the middle, but it was shut down by number 43.
Gain of maybe to the line of
Of the
scrimmage
Warriors.
for 2nd down.
That looked like Riley Davis.
So it's 2nd down, and again, both teams are looking to stay alive in their
Second down,
playoff
Nate.
hopes tonight in this North matchup between the Warriors and the Patriots. Both teams excited for this ball game.
I'll tell you who I'm looking forward to seeing is, as always, is John Stock for Bowling Green Christian. I always look forward to what he can do.
Tackle again.
Nice attempted rush there by the
And
Patriots.
speak of the devil, there's Stock taking down
Shut him
Crawley. I
down.
just
Third
said,
down.
if you're Bowling Green, your
No
defense
gain.
has got to get in there and pressure that
Let's
sophomore
make some
quarterback,
noise
and
for
they're
this
doing
Warrior
that right now.
defense now. Looks like a loss on that play.
The clock running down. It's about 3rd down. Can't see the chains from the other side of the tent here. Ball handed off up the middle.
Another
So
run
rush
up the
attempt
middle,
by
pick up the
Gagliano.
2. Tripped up by John Stock
We'll
again.
get them down to 4th down, and the Patriots will punt
That
it away.
brings up a big 4th down. 4th and 5.
Of course, we saw how hard the Patriots fought to get their win, but unfortunately falling with a loss last week to the Sacred Heart of Jesus High School Knights out in Jackson. And the Patriots fighting hard to get a victory in that one. Looking to get their first win of the season as well as their first win in the North as the punt is muffed. Hit down short and
was a
fallen
block
on.
kick.
That's Nathan Starnes getting
by
on it.
John Stock.
And I'm going to be honest, I was
the
at the
Bowling
Webb South
Green
Haven game 2 weeks ago, and I
Kentucky
don't know how the
Warriors.
punts were last week,
That'll
but
bring up a
they're
1st and
punting.
10 for
They've
the
got to figure
Warriors.
out their punting situation.
Right around the
They're
12-yard line.
struggling. They had punts that were going for 10, 15 yards. That one's maybe 7
11-yard
yards.
line.
I mean, they've got to get the special team side of everything taken care of.
Opening play for Bowling Green's offense.
So now the
Let's make some
Warriors on the field. Hopefully we'll be able to tell their numbers on their blackout uniforms at home. So first down.
I still don't know why you don't put white lining on it. But anyways.
1st down and 10 for the Warriors with really great field advantage. Motion on the play. All snapped. Handed off. That's number 37, Gage Holman. Gage Holman is into the end zone for a Warriors touchdown.
I think, was there a flag on the
For
backside?
Bowling Green,
Didn't see a flag on the
Kentucky.
backside.
Nope, no flag.
Touchdown for Gage Holman.
And typically Bowling Green waits until the 3rd or 4th quarter to
Touchdown
start
by
doing
Gage
this, but
Holman.
just give the ball to Gage Holman, hit this corner, and get in.
That makes the score 6.
Got a scoring update from
9:56 left
Christian
in the
Community
first
School
quarter.
at Franklin Classical School.
Make some noise for this
11
offense
minutes
now.
in, so opening drive, a minute in, and it's Nathaniel Rowley, hitting Micah Jones for a touchdown. Extra point is no good. Colts lead the Knights 6-0.
It's a 2-point conversion attempt for Bowling Green. They do not have a kicker on their sideline.
Well,
as-
Riley Davis has kicked before, but they haven't been doing as much kicking this year.
And motion
He
there,
got it.
flag for a false start, penalty on the play.
Be on the Patriots.
Number 30, White. Half a distance to the goal, 1 untimed down.
So half the distance to the goal on that offsides penalty.
The goal there brings up another 2-point conversion attempt. Make some noise for your
two-point
Warrior
conversion.
offense now.
It's Tanner Brown in the backfield, man to his right and left. And motion on the play again.
Another flag.
Yeah, they're going to give those 5 yards back.
Oh, false start for Black. 5-yard penalty. Replay 1 untimed.
That one was against the Warriors.
I don't know why it seems like Bowling Green is going with such a hard count on a 2-point conversion. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to get the extra yards or not, but they're going with a hard count.
It's
And
here for you, Warriors.
it's worked once, and then the other time you fooled your own guy.
So they decide, so brought back for 5 yards for a long 2-point conversion attempt. Of course, Bowling Green coming off of their bye week after their loss to the Heat. And they've got a stint of 4 games ahead of them, and they are tough ones. We'll get to that after this 2-point conversion attempt. Motion on the play from Brown. Across the middle, Brown is going to fake the handoff and rush up the middle. Attempt it. Riley Davis is going to get stuffed, and it's 6-0 for the Warriors, leading with 9:56 left to go in the first. But as I was saying, James, you look at the schedule for the Warriors. They've got South Haven now. They go to Swanee next week. They go to Christian Community, and then they host Lighthouse. So Bowling Green has a very tough schedule ahead of them.
Yeah, and you know, it's going to be a gauntlet, of course, tonight. We don't know what to expect right off the bat. They were able to punch the touchdown in, but, you know, Swanee just dropped another game tonight. They're now 0-2. And then they get the big game against Christian Community. That's really the – I think for a lot of teams, Christian Community is kind of the measuring stick of where you're at with your season. And so, you know, they're going to have that one, and then Lighthouse. So right there at the end, and even without Riverside and Sacred Heart, CCS and Lighthouse having those 2 games back-to-back, that's going to determine their postseason right there. If they can win tonight. If they don't win tonight, I don't think they make it into the playoffs. Maybe bowl game, but I don't think they make the playoffs.
And we'll talk about South Haven's schedule later on in our broadcast here from Bowling Green. Regardless of their current seedings in the North for either team, it is a crucial win, as are every one of the games that you play in the North. That's recepted by Andrew Crawley on the kickoff. And the offense is back on the field for the Patriots.
Crawley with that reception on the onside.
So again, we look at last year how the Patriots were MTAC champions, managed to only have 1 loss on the season, and they got vengeance for that in the MTAC championship against the Christian Community Colts, their North rival. But starting out the season 0-2. Crawley hands it off to Gagliano up the middle. The defense of Bowling Green stops him for a 2nd down and 10.
Bowling Green, Kentucky Warriors.
And if you're Bowling Green, you're going to get a solid, steady dose of Frankie Gagliano, especially with Manny Dang out tonight. So they're going to give him the ball many times and see what they can get out of it. I believe he had 21 carries last week, and he got the rock quite a few times. He's their senior running back.
So Crawley in the shotgun, hands it off. It's a rush on the left. And ball loose.
Dropped the ball there, but
Ruled down by contact. So Nathan Starnes on the rush for a 3rd down and 8.
Almost looked like
Tanner Brown with that tackle.
Tanner Brown. Well, he caught the number 4 we did. So Tanner Brown with the tackle in there.
Tanner Brown, one of the All-Stars for Bowling Green last year in the Extreme All-Star game.
I don't remember him being there.
Could have sworn he was there.
Nah.
May have been somebody else.
No, they had Riley Davis, John Stock, and Gage Holman. And Spitzer Bayard.
Crawley tosses it incomplete pass intended for Nathan Starnes. It's incomplete, and that's going to head it to 4th down. South Haven will send the punt team out.
And again, Bowling Green is doing a great job of getting pressure and rushing Crawley. And when Sacred Heart did that last week, they were successful. Webb did it 2 weeks ago. They forced 2 interceptions. So You know, it's all about how much you can get to the quarterback. Now they're going with it's got the punt. But I don't know that I like the quarterback being back over here as the gunner.
So going to punt it away. It's Eric Sordo is their punter. Fair catch ruled by Bowling Green. And the Bowling Green offense is back on the field.
Number 37 for Bowling Green.
Got a good kick out of him that time. Pin him, flip the field, pin him deep a little bit, and
that brings up a big first.
let's see what Bowling Green does when they don't have a short field, like a 15-yard field.
Yeah, they have not played a single away game. They'll have their first away game next week against the St. Andrews Suwannee Mountain Lions. Play here on a 40-by-80 field. It's primarily used for rugby with Western Kentucky University. 1st and 10.
Well, it's also the outfield of a baseball field.
Pass on the left side, caught. Can't see the number from here, but it's a good reception on the left side.
I bet you money it was Gage Holman.
We'll get the replay on that one.
That's a big Bowling Green, Kentucky first down. Let's make some
Trying to see the number. It looks like you may be right on that. It looks like Gage Holman, but we could check the replay and see if it'll tell us anything.
And again, just get him to the corner, and he's gone. He's going to take off. He's your speed back. And we're going to get a timeout.
White.
So timeout called here by the Patriots with 8:12 left to go in the first quarter. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com, and Estate and Financial Strategies Incorporated.
First and 10.
1st and 10 for the Warriors after the South Haven timeout. The 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line in Patriots territory. See what the Bowling Green offense can cook up here under the leadership of Don Brown. Brown in the backfield, man to his right, motion on the play.
Not him.
Brown, rush on the right side, trying to catch the number there, and it's 37. Gage Holman again. He's going all the way into the end zone.
Give him the ball, and he'll hit the corner. All you got to do all game long, all day long. Yeah, I mean, it's a really simple recipe. It's like making toast. You got bread, you put it in the toaster, and you butter it. Same thing. Give the ball to Gage Holman, set the edge, he'll go. Touchdown, Bowling Green. Again, I have a feeling we might be calling touchdown Bowling Green a couple times tonight.
So make that 12 on the board so far for Bowling Green. Chance to make it 14. The 2-point conversion attempt here for the Warriors. So Brown again. He's trying to find the pass, rushing up the middle.
Brown kept the ball.
Short of the end zone. 12-0 the score with 8 minutes, 2 seconds left to go in the first as the Warriors lead over the Patriots.
Bowling Green to kick off.
So not even 4 minutes in, and it's already a 2-score game. The Warriors able to put up the points early on, and that's thanks to their main man, Gage Holman.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I said, it's a simple recipe. All you got to do is follow the instructions. You have the blueprint. It's how they beat their first 2 teams. They kind of got away from it a little bit against the Heat, or the Heat shut it down, whichever way you want to look at it. But now they've had a week off. They're fresh, and they're coming back in with it. And also, big shout-out to our sponsor, TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. Go get their app, and you can get live updates of all of the 8-man football games.
And they're going to let that go to the back of the end zone for a touchback, and the Patriots are back on offense.
Let's see if they can get something going. I mean, they've struggled. They've tried a steady dose of Frankie Gagliano, but obviously that's not working with this team. Such a ferocious defense. John Stock, Riley Davis, they're getting in there. Ben Thomas, Cameron B is getting in there. So they've got their guys that are laying the licks. They've got to try something different. They've got a solid offensive line. They've got 2 seniors and a junior. So, they've got to try something different, though.
1st and 10, the Patriots offense back on the move. We'll see what their offensive coordinator, Michael Crawley, cooks up here. As it's a handoff to Gagliano up the middle, tripped up. That's John Stock on tripping him up. And 2nd down, and it looks like about 7. With John Stock making the big play.
2 names for sure that we're going to keep saying tonight, Gage Holman and John Stock. You're going to go back and forth and back and forth. 1 on offense, 1 on defense. And it showed because of the plays that John Stock has made and 2 rushing touchdowns for Gage Holman.
May even hear some name of Riley Davis.
And he may come up too.
One of the senior leaders for Bowling Green. 2nd and 7. Crawley has Gagliano behind him. He's going to look for the pass. Left side, it's Gagliano. He's going to be stuffed.
Pass is complete for 21. Driven back into the dirt by number 32 of Bowling Green,
that's Tanner Brown.
Quarterback doing work.
No gain on the play.
I'm typically not a fan of and I'm typically not a fan of quarterbacks on defense, except when they can actually make it happen.
Just Tanner Brown stopping
Apologize
there.
about the quality there.
Yeah, sometimes when that replay gets slowed down, we just have to restart the software. We'll probably do that at halftime.
You might need it.
Yeah, it happened to us at the Sacred Heart game last week.
A couple times.
Yeah, 3rd down and 7. Crawley, toss up the middle. Crawley,
in and out
incomplete
of the hands.
pass intended for Eric Sordo. Incomplete, and the South Haven punt team will come back out.
Despite the incompletion, I like that. I like them trying something different. I'm all for that. And if you do that, big props to you.
That'll bring up a big 4th down and 8 for the Patriots.
So 4th down, we'll see how the performance is for the Patriots on this punt.
It's just a punt, folks. Unless you get a Gage Holman punt return.
It's punted high into the left.
You didn't miss much.
Going to go down to about the 33-yard line.
See, you didn't miss a whole lot.
That'll give the Warriors 1st and 10.
So the Warriors,
Around the 25,
so it looks like the
30-yard
Warriors
line.
are
Make some noise for your
back on
Warrior
offense. May see what they can do with this drive as the Patriots try to keep the defensive game up.
Let's get you some scoring updates. Of course, last night, the Tennessee School for the Deaf, first action since October of 2016, traveled to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and they picked up the 58-22 win over South Carolina School for the Deaf and Blind Hornets. So the Vikings moved to 1-0 on the year. Still in the first quarter, Christian Community leads Franklin Classical 13-0. Final, like we said earlier, Franklin Christian 30, St. Andrew Swanee 16.
So Franklin Christian getting their first win and a big win in the South as they try to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Trying to reverse the field here.
Reversal up the middle. It's that big man again. Gage Holman to the end zone. Touchdown, Bowling Green.
If this was a job, I think at this point he earned his keep. At this point, and credit to him. They got to him, and they had him pinned, and he just flips the field, takes off the other way.
See if the replay gives us any trouble on this one.
See, just
a
flips the
little bit.
field. Good solid block right there. It looks like on Enzo Sarv.
Senyo
Saver.
Yeah, Senyo Saber.
Either way.
Either way, however
Either
you
way.
pronounce it. You know, you say tomato, I say tomato morts.
I've never heard someone call it a tomato, though.
Not at this
Or
point. no.
potato.
It's only used in that phrase.
I've
for
never heard
potato,
anyone call it a potato.
Neither have I. That's why
And
I
I
just,
watch a lot of MasterChef.
That's why I just say tomato morts.
Okey-dokey.
And ball handed off. It's 43. Riley Davis is trying to stay on his feet. He's brought down far behind the
Well,
line
they
of
stopped the
scrimmage.
two-point conversion.
They've stopped the South Haven Patriots, and at least they made a defensive stop the entire game on two-point conversions. With the score 18-0 with 6:03 left to go in the first.
Scoring update. Franklin Classical's gotten on the board. It's now 13-8.
Classical 13. What did you say that score was?
13-8. Josh Salstrom to Josh Austin.
13-8 over Christian Community.
No, Christian Community leads in 13-8.
Okay, yeah. For a second, I was gonna say 13-8. FCS is leading already. That would have been a shocker. Good on FCS to get that quick start, but it's not one of the scores you expect. I mean, granted, there are a lot of scores.
Another update. Lighthouse leads the Tennessee Heat still in the first quarter. It's 6-0.
6.
I'm sorry. Tsunami.
6-0 for Lighthouse over the Tennessee Heat right now. And
that's a big game for the North
Indeed.
as well. I mean, if we weren't here, we would be there because both of those are massive divisional matchups. The Heat 1-0, or 1-1 rather.
Heat 1-0.
And Lighthouse 0-1.
Lighthouse 0-1, and both teams 0-1 in.
So there's Riley Davis
1-0,
kicking it off.
0-1 in the North. So it's recepted. That's Nathan Starnes going on the left side. That's actually, yes, that is Nathan Starnes trying to use number there. And
that's their first major positive play tonight. So good for them. Good for them getting it going.
Get a return to about the 36-yard line. See what the Patriots offense can cook up here. And again, like we mentioned last week, Michael Crawley, the offensive coordinator for the South Haven Patriots, who's head coach for the Patriots in their first season at MTAC, had their winless season, but then moved to the offensive coordinator position and helped lead them to win the MTAC Championship last season under the leadership of Jason Zimmerman. Crawley goes to the right. Andrew Crawley scrambles around, staying on his feet, gets a gain of about a yard on the play. Actually, they stop him right at the line of scrimmage, so 2nd down and 10 for the Patriots.
Trying to get something going after a great kick return there by Starnes.
Maybe a yard.
Trying to get a movement here.
2nd down for the Patriots. 2nd and 10.
Trying to get y'all updates for Lancaster at Riverside, a massive MTAC South battle.
Lancaster right now undefeated in the South and undefeated on their regular season, trying to solidify their position for the champion of the South. Of course, the Webb School is the big dominant force that is standing in their way for when they face off later in the season towards later weeks. Flags thrown.
Maybe emotion.
Oh, number 19, White. Replay, 2nd down.
False start for the Patriots.
5-yard penalty. That'll bring up.
It's the Patriots there starting back up the clock.
Make some noise for that Warrior defense now.
Switch out the battery real fast for y'all, so you're going to lose your feed just for a split second. But your clock will still run, and Spencer will still tell you what's going on. Because he has a face for radio.
Both of us do.
No, sir.
Or no, speak for yourself. You're right.
Whatever.
2nd down and
There you
15.
go.
Crawley in the shotgun, tosses it on the right side. It is intercepted. Interception by the Warriors. Reversing up the middle.
What a
It's
spin move.
Riley Davis with the spin move.
There's
Touchdown,
Riley.
Warriors.
There's Riley Davis. I told you he'd be here. I thought I saw him warming up. I knew he'd show up.
Riley Davis with the big interception. Let's get the replay on that one. See if it'll load up for us. See if we can get the replay right at the interception.
What a great catch.
And that spin move, too, in slow motion, no less. So the Patriots thus far in the game have been able to stop 2-point conversions. We'll see if they can get another stop here, if the Warriors will get their first 2-point conversion of the night. So here goes Tanner Brown. Take it on the right and hand it off. That was handed off to Riley Davis, and he gets the first 2-point conversion of the game. 26-0 for the Warriors over the Patriots. So far, a high-scoring game, one-sided for the Warriors.
And I am being corrected. I'm saying his name wrong. It's Inseo Savar.
Inseo
Savar. Got it.
No one corrected me on that last year during the championship.
True that.
Inseo Savar. One of those epic names you see in the conference.
Exactly.
There are a lot of epic
and
names.
he's really been a solid center for many years for South Haven. He's continuously showed up. And he's just him, and they got Nick Ambrose in there, I think last year or the year before. I think it was the year before. So 2 years ago he came in, and so they've got him and then Estevan Covington on their offensive line. And it's a good-sized line, but they're just not holding their own against. And they got big old number 2, Elijah Ashley. They might want to look at inserting him and trying to give Crowley some protection. And we do apologize about all the battery troubles. If you would like to buy us a new camera, we do welcome donations.
Always welcome donations for 8-Man Extreme as we try to.
Or if you have a business that you would like to get to get some advertising, and you could sponsor us, and there you go. It's a perfect trade-off. But we do take donations.
New camera in exchange for title rights to the halftime report. I'll guarantee that for you if any business chooses to do that, as the ball is touched back, goes to the 20-yard line, and the Patriots are going to try to get something going here.
Bowling Green up on defense. 4:19 left in your first quarter.
Game getting out of hand a little bit. We're only a touchdown away from the mercy rule, and we're still in the first quarter.
I thought it was 30. Is it 35 or is it 30
You're right.
points?
It's 35. It's 35 with a touchdown, 2-point. They get to 34, so they still have to score another touchdown.
If they had made their 2-point conversions earlier in the game,
exactly,
we would already be there.
Exactly.
But regardless, the Patriots trying to prevent that from being a possibility. Plenty of time for them to make it back here as Crawley hands it up the middle. Insenio Saver getting to the outside.
No, that was Gagliano.
Frankie Gagliano trying to view the number on there. So first down and 10 for Frankie Gagliano and the Patriots.
Looks like it may be a first down for you Patriots.
First down and 10 after Frankie Gagliano gets that first down. Handed up the middle by Crawley. As Gagliano again gets a gain of about 7 yards for second down and 3.
The number 50. And John Stock.
Again, you got to say the name, John Stock, in on the play,
The Warriors.
making it happen.
So John Stock getting that tackle down. And second down is a gain of about 5 yards in the play for second and 5. Crawley is going to head under center. He's got Starnes in the backfield. Motion. And Crawley is going to take it to the right. Avoids a tackle. Crawley pushing his way through to about the 35-yard line, third down and 2.
Bowling Green proving me wrong. I thought it was just because they played some teams that were rough and then they couldn't really hang in there with the heat, but it looks like the off week has helped a lot.
Make some noise for our big defensive
Speaking
stop
of
here,
off weeks, we'll talk in the
Warriors.
second quarter about the South Haven Patriots and their schedule off weeks. Very strategic on their part. We'll talk about that in the second quarter. We are closer and closer to getting to that point as it's been a game of rushing so far for both sides. Here's 3rd down and 2. Crawley pitches it, and ball is loose. Fallen on by Gagliano. He's not able to keep his grip on that ball, and 4th down and 6.
Brings up a 4th down and 6 or 7 for your Patriots.
So this ball will be punted away.
And again, it's a punt, so we're going to kill your feed just for a second. We get these batteries charged up a little bit.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't charge the batteries in the morning before.
Spencer.
I'll take full responsibility for that.
No, we all shirk our responsibility. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
we all
completely kidding.
shirk our
I'm
responsibility.
completely kidding, y'all. For real, though, and I said it on the show Sunday, Spencer, Isaiah, Wayne, these guys are the best help and co-workers.
False start, number 21, Watt.
Against the Patriots.
Trying to give you a compliment.
Yeah, and I know. I was trying to get the referee's call on there, man. It's just as
And
important.
you were trying to make sure I didn't get on the PA system either. But no, y'all are amazing, and you know, if not charging the battery is the worst thing that happens to us, we're blessed. We are very blessed.
That'll be one of the stories we probably tell on Extreme Talk or on Extreme Radio about the hectic things we had to do to get tonight's game set up. It's punted away, and back to receive is Gage Holman. But looks like Crawley is going to touch it down at about the 20-yard line. And there's a minute 18 left to go in the first.
Number 13.
Sending in second-year player Presley Seiler. I believe that's how you say his name.
1st and 10 for your Bowling Green Kentucky Warriors. 1:18 left in your first quarter. Make some noise now, Warrior fans.
I don't know if the fans have to make noise because the team's been making a whole lot of it.
Yeah, both sides of the ball have been giving their fair share of exchanges.
Get this play real quick.
It's 1st down and 10 for the Warriors. Motion. There's Brown, hands it off. It's a weave up the middle. Gagliano stuffing him down.
Riley Davis with a run up the middle.
Rush for about, looks like 7 or 8 yards on the play for none other than Riley Davis for the Warriors to get 2nd down.
So
and
it's time about time they start giving someone else some carries.
Yeah, they're
Jake
just
Holman wearing him out, rightfully so. It's a 26. Well, thanks to Gage Holman, it was an 18-0 ball game.
That's a big question you have. At one point, Coach Brown, obviously the Patriots fighting here to keep it from getting down to the mercy rule, getting it completely out of hand. But at what point, as Coach Brown, do you decide to play more of your bench and get more of your secondary guys in?
I mean,
as there's a flag on the play.
Oh, delay a game. Black, 5-yard penalty. Replay the down.
So a 5-yard penalty on delay of game. But yeah, as Coach Brown, what point do you decide this is getting too out of hand? Let's play your second string.
I think you should start filtering them in, but I do think that you don't completely turn it over until after halftime. You at least give your starters a half. They've got to stay warm. They just took last week off. You can't just pull them out after a quarter.
There's Brown attempting the pass on the left side, incomplete.
Especially with them not playing Swanee until next Saturday. So, you know, they're going to have a lot of downtime.
For you Warriors, let's make some noise, Warriors.
So 13 seconds left in the first.
13 seconds left.
A couple updates. In Antioch, Lighthouse Christian has gone up to a 14-0 lead on the Heat, and that was scored by Tremaine James. And then a lightning delay in Franklin. What is it with classical and lightnings?
I mean, we're expected to get some rain or some storms up here in Bowling Green.
Well, hopefully it's
later.
after we get everything after the game's over, which
I
it may not take long.
Potentially, depending on how high scoring the game gets. Nice rush on the right. That was Tanner Brown on the rush, quarterback keeper. First down will move the chains for the Warriors, and that is the end. Actually, they will stop the clock here for placing the ball, and likely they'll have it run down to the second quarter. They're stopping it for placing, and they move it for a first down, and I believe they'll start the clock. 3 seconds is left on the scoreboard here in Stadium. And they're going to run it down. No time left in the first quarter. It's 26-0, the Warriors leading over the Patriots after 12. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com, and estate and financial strategies. And a big stop by the Patriots there. It's an attempted rush up the middle by the Warriors. The Patriots get the ball stopped.
For your Bowling Green, Kentucky Warriors. Make some noise, Kentucky.
Currently working on a solution for y'all to our camera battery situation until we can get one charged up.
It's the start of the second quarter. Scoreboard will be updated here shortly. The clock has rolled as Bowling Green is rushing on the right side. That's Tanner Brown. Gets out of bounds. First down for the Warriors.
4-5.
Letting the clock run down here. 11 minutes, 21 seconds is where they stop the clock.
Get y'all an update from Riverside hosting Lancaster Christian in the first quarter. Lancaster has a 8-0 lead.
And letting the clock run down here. 11:21 time matching on the scoreboard. Oh, second down and 5. Motion. Big toss on the right side. Incomplete pass. Not going to be able to get an easier catch than that. 11-14.
In and out of the hand. Brings up another third down and 6.
We might have to switch camera sources just for a minute, just to get some battery charged up for y'all.
And that's what we're going to do. You see the amount of glares on the stadium. You at least can see the game. That's the important thing.
There you go.
So you at least could see something, even though that glare is fairly obvious, but you get to see game action here as our camera battery's not charged up. Pitch on the right side. Gage Holman again. Can't mention his name enough. Big first down for the Warriors.
For Bowling Green, Kentucky Warriors.
I mean, what do you want me to say? Gage Holman is Mr. How do I put it? Mr. Money in the Bank tonight. He is cash, cold, hard cash. Straight cash, homie. You give the ball to him, he's going to give you results. It's the perfect investment, and he's only a junior. So next year when they don't have John Stock or Riley Davis or Tanner Brown or Ben Thomas, they've still got Gage Holman. And he might move to quarterback.
They've got a weapon on offense as we head to first down and 10 here. Tanner Brown, toss on the left side, easy catch, and Gage Holman again. Gage Holman on the left side, stopped into the end zone. Touchdown for the Warriors.
Touchdown, Gage Holman. What's new? I mean,
why are you're taking it so casually at this point, man?
We're
broadcasting.
A whole lot of touchdowns.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not 100% wrong. They have gotten a whole lot of touchdowns in this game. And if they get this 2-point conversion, they'll be 1 point shy of enacting the mercy rule. And like you said, this game may not take as long as we thought it would.
Now, this does beg the question. Is this a case of South Haven this not being their night? Or is this a case of Bowling Green being a dominant team? Which also leads into
Tanner Brown getting into the end zone. 2-point conversion, good. The Warriors are 1 point short of enacting the mercy rule, 34-0 with 10:35 left in the second, James.
Well, and again, obviously this kind of score at this point in the game, it begs the question. You've got Sacred Heart, who beat Lighthouse. Sacred Heart beat South Haven. Yeah, did beat South Haven. And then you got the Heat and Bowling Green over here. CCS beat the Heat. So where do you really sort it out? Who is good and who is bad? Or who just beat a bad team? It's so difficult, and I think this sorts it out a little bit more, but at the same time it muddies it up, because you have Bowling Green, who lost to the Heat, but they're going to beat CCS, barring a miracle. And on the flip side, you've got Sacred Heart, who beat South Haven, but lost and beat Lighthouse. So, it's crazy, because someone like Sacred Heart, who's just back into the league, a lot of freshmen, they could be the number 2 seed, hypothetically, potentially. It's completely whack. And then you get CCS, who's they're CCS. What do you want me to say? Without being accused of being a homer, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, it's the Christian Community School Colts that are undefeated in the North right now, 3-0 on their season, looking to go 4-0 against Franklin Classical on their game tonight back in Franklin, back into the end zone. And actually they're 2-0 in the North. They're 3-0 because of their victory over Riverside.
They're 2-0, yeah.
Now, let's go ahead and look at the South Haven schedule, because you look at their bye weeks, they're very strategic, because after this game, they've got a bye week. Then they host the Heat, they host CCS, bye week, then they're at Lighthouse, and then face Franklin Christian. So they've got a strategic bye week before and after their 2 North games, and right before their final North game against Lighthouse.
And based on how they're handling Bowling Green and Heat, Bowling Green couldn't hang with the Heat until the end of the game. Based on that, that's going to be a hard game. You already know it's going to be a hard game with CCS. So, you're going to need the break afterwards, because you're going to be beat up by both teams.
And that's Joel Laffman on the right side.
I think it's
Laffman on the right side, trying to get a rush there. It stopped and about 2nd down and 11.
Around the right side middle. Second and 9.
And
Second and 9.
And we still have a lightning delay in Franklin.
Yeah, for the lightning delay down there in Franklin for the Christian Community and Classical game. So we'll hopefully see if they'll resume their game, and hopefully that Lightning doesn't get up here before we pack up our equipment. It's just like when we.
How would Lightning get from Franklin to Bowling Green?
It's
Not Franklin, Kentucky. Franklin, Tennessee.
Yeah, good to mention that. I mean, it's possible. I know there's storms set to come up here. We got storms set to come up here. Hey, don't.
But those storms would come from Missouri.
Hold on. You got a Predators cap on. You're
Paducah?
flipping it backwards. You got to show your Preds pride.
I also have to be comfortable. Plus, why can't I show my Preds pride to the people behind me?
There's only one person behind you.
There's nobody behind me right now.
Yeah, there is. The only person behind you is.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, one person.
It's my wife. Date night. No.
Exactly. Football night is date night.
Ooh,
Flag thrown.
man.
Crawley going up the middle. We'll get this penalty call. Then James will analyze.
Number 13, White.
By the way, thank y'all for participating.
Yeah, you got some
I
PA
got
time. It
PA time.
happens. It happens. But you were saying. You were giving a thank you, and then it didn't happen. James?
Number 13, White. That penalty is declined.
Okay.
4th down.
So the penalty is declined for holding on. They called it on Inseo Savar, as it's properly pronounced. Inseo Savar called for holding there. So it is now 4th down and 7. Patriots punting it away.
Let's see what Sorto has for this punt. It's been a mixed bag of treats tonight. He got it off. It's not bad.
You're pulling out all the metaphors and similes tonight,
I am the
man.
Doc Emmerich of color commentating.
Well, you haven't used terms like skittered on over, pitchforked, ladled. You haven't used
There
those
is
terms.
8 minutes and 44 seconds left in the second quarter.
You're right.
I have not gotten to the end of the game yet.
So we're almost a minute off on our clock here. But you look at the rest of the teams around the north. You look at the Tennessee Heat, who was at Lighthouse tonight.
Spencer, I'm going to get to your analysis.
But I'm going to let
quick.
you finish.
Beyonce had the best fit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I do.
But a scoring update for real. Tennessee Heat have gotten on the board. It's now 14-6.
1st and 10 for Bowling Green. Trying to get another score. So here's Brown, scrambles, looking for the pass, right side, wide open, it is caught! Touchdown for Tanner Brown to Gage Holman.
That's a highlight reel.
And the mercy rule enacted after the kickoff.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be, I'd say it's going to be a long night, but it's going to be a quick night.
Unless the Patriots can stop that mercy rule from being enacted, it's potentially a long night here.
True.
The 2-point conversion attempt. Two two-point conversions have been made all night, and the rest of them, at least South Haven's defense has managed to stop those 2-point conversions.
A touchdown was sophomore Brandon Goolsby for the Heat a second ago where I mentioned it. Touchdown from Brandon Goolsby to Carter Sutton. And the sophomore quarterback Goolsby showing up.
And the junior Gage Holman showing up with his senior quarterback Tanner Brown. Left side attempted pass incomplete to Gage Holman. 2-point conversion, no good. It is 40-0 with 8. They are letting it run down here.
Well, yeah, you have to let the clock run no matter what. Minus an injury and a timeout.
Yeah,
the clock runs no matter what.
Yeah,
let's give you all a little behind-the-scenes shot. You're in Bowling Green. This is what you have to do for film. Here you can see. Let's see. I'm like a meteorologist right now. Hold on a second. Here's my finger. Okay. So we have a guy on a ladder in a pickup filming up here. This is Bowling Green. And then over here, you have a guy on top of his Cadillac. And this is South Haven.
It's a nice that's not a GMC. That's a GMC, not a Cadillac.
It's a GMC.
Similar.
Like
same company, similar, but yeah.
And then we're going to do the unthinkable. We're going to break the fourth wall.
I don't think this is breaking the fourth wall. I think this is just showing it. We showed our faces pregame
of a pickup truck.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thanks to you-know-who for letting us use the back of this pickup truck for the game.
But for real, though, you do what you got to do for the fans.
For the fans? You mean for the players?
For the players.
For the players
I lost
first.
Track. I lost
the
track
players
of my,
first.
of my
the team
priorities.
second. The coach. The players first. Team second. Schools third. Then the fans are fourth. Not disrespecting you guys, but But it's all about the players. All about getting them.
Okay, now I'm being told it's INSAW.
So they did stop the clock.
Savara.
So they stopped the clock at 7:54. So it looks like I was right. Looks like I was right about you let it run after the kickoff.
Let it run.
Yeah, I believe the rule is that you wait until it's the offensive drive after the touchdown kickoff.
I think Mr. Chuck Walker has won the live chat contest tonight, saying that someone needs to call the cops because this is rough. Well done.
Well played.
And we want to thank all y'all for tuning in and watching and checking us out. Hey, listen, during halftime, or if you're just sick of hearing us and seeing this poor camera view, go check out the rest of our YouTube channel.
Hey, we'll get a better camera view after halftime because we'll have a battery charge.
For sure. Absolutely. But for real, though, go check out a brand new episode of Extreme Talk that just dropped last night. I, of course, do Extreme Talk, and I got to talk to Peter Coleman from the NAAPS. I also give each team a grade, which I feel pretty good about my grades tonight after giving them last night. You can go check out Extreme Radio, which is live every Sunday at 4 p.m., but they are podcasted, quote unquote, so that you can go back and listen to them. So you can check those out, our game highlights. There's a ton of content for you to check out. Go check out our playlists. Got a bunch of cool videos on there.
So they did start running the clock after the ball was possessed by South Haven on the kickoff. And
ball hit the ground there.
Ball hit the turf, just to use a synonym there, even though turf is technically AstroTurf. So the clock winding out. It's not even official. It's not even turf here. It's real grass. But none of the teams play on AstroTurf. All of it is 100% real grass, I believe, by conference standards. So the clock we're matched up with now off by a few seconds as it's now winding down here in stadium.
Have you ever been on turf? It hurts.
I actually have not.
It hurts. I got to go on it. Well, I take it back. I've been on it twice. At the Austin P. State field and then at Carson Newman. Both their fields are turf. I believe they're turf. Watch, someone's going to Google us and be like, nope.
Yep. Big pass on the right side by Crawley. Incomplete. Attempted by Barhill. Good coverage by Gage Holman.
I can't say I'm mad about that. I mean, if you're South Haven, you got to just start airing it out. I mean, you're down 40-0. You got to start spreading it out. You were pounding the ball inside, and unless you sent a receiver out, Bowling Green was putting 8 guys in the box, and they were saying, run the ball on us. You can't. And they're obviously doing that right now. Not running the ball, that is. Not running the ball.
Not running
not
it.
Not running the ball.
Not running the ball.
Not running the ball.
I cannot not.
Try saying that 10 times.
Maybe I'll try in a little bit. Crawley gets a good break. Rushing across the middle of the field, Andrew Crawley to the 44-yard line. That's a replayable moment.
Ow, that hurt.
That's why we have the amperage volume up too loud.
Got a little excited.
Hey, I mean, it's Andrew Crawley. South Haven getting a big play
there
for the
by
night.
Crawley. That's what they needed.
Let's see what we got on the replay. So right there, you see him on the outside. Or if you can see him in that glare.
Yeah.
But a nice play by Andrew Crawley with the rush on the outside as the clock continues to run.
Well, you could either have too many lights like here or no lights like Sacred Heart. Well, I mean, they got portable lights. But
they had portable lights.
Or Swanee.
They did tell us that they're working on getting physical lights at that
Swanee doesn't have lights.
Yes.
That's why they play at 4 in the afternoon, which is great for doubleheaders if you can pull it off.
Yeah, there might be a doubleheader in the future that the 8-man extreme team will pull off in the future.
Dun.
But no spoilers.
Conspiracy.
Because the only game that is revealed is we are calling the Tennessee Heat and Tennessee School for the Deaf game because James over here leaked it.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, I also said I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago on Extreme Radio, the formula is if there's a Thursday or Saturday game, we're going to be at it if it's the only game.
Yeah, you can pretty much count on that.
It's just the Friday games that you have to
Unless there's 2 Thursday games.
Yeah, it's just the Friday games that you have to tune in and realize.
See, he was going to throw the ball again, and they just can't get open.
Yeah, Crawley getting sacked down for a loss of about 3 yards for 3rd down and looks like 13. So the Patriots actually get back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 10 as Crawley gets brought down.
You know, something interesting to me, Spencer, we talked about bye weeks. And, you know, last week, of course, Lancaster going on their bye as well as Bowling Green. But this week, the only team on bye is Sacred Heart of Jesus High School. only team coming off a win against South Haven. And then after this, they go to the Heat, to Riverside, so 2 big road trips, and then they host Classical before their next bye. So very strategic bye.
As Crawley tosses it to Gagliano. Left side, he's getting stopped at the 31-yard line, 4th and 10. Since they're so close in Warriors territory, I believe they may go for it here. We've seen that in 8-man football plenty, where they do go for it this close to the end zone.
Right on the 31-yard line.
Especially on a 40-by-80 field, there's no advantage for you to punt it this short.
Make some noise, Bowling Green.
So 4th down for the Patriots. Again, the defending MTAC champions. Fortunately, no wins on their season thus far, only playing.
Let's see if they can convert here. If they can convert here, that'd be huge.
So pitch out to Gagliano, and he's stopped short. 1st down and 10 for the Warriors.
This is really, really where you miss Manny Dang, because he's got that speed. He would find the corner. Frankie Gagliano, he's a great power back. If you can get the right situation, he's a great power back. You saw it last week against Sacred Heart. Just had a great game. But sometimes you need that speed back, and Manny Dang could have been that speed back, but they don't have him tonight. And I don't know if they have him on the roster.
So 1st down and 10 for the Warriors as the clock continues to run down. About 2 minutes left to go before halftime. And of course, at halftime, we'll analyze what we can of the first half, figure out what the Warriors are doing correct and what South Haven needs to improve on going into the second half, as the clock will run at the start of the 3rd quarter. Barring any touchdown from South Haven, pass on the right side. Gagliano couldn't get the pass there, and it's a rush to the outside.
Oh, Gage Holman.
Gage Holman. Touchdown for the Warriors. As the clock continues to run down. Yeah, our replay isn't working too much right now. It'll probably be working out.
Yeah, what do I say? One more. There you
go. I got the scoreboard, man. I got this, dude.
That's, yeah.
60
and, of course,
seconds
the clock's still
down.
running for the mercy rule.
So I believe this 2-point conversion will probably be the last play of the half.
I'll have to go back and look. But I think the last time Bowling Green won a game with the mercy rule would probably be Madisonville last week. Or last year, rather.
Yeah, Madisonville last week.
Rest in peace, Madisonville.
Madisonville still having their football
for
operations.
For South Haven.
Open. Was it against Madisonville?
No, it would have been against Webb a couple weeks ago.
Well, the first time they were shut out. You were talking about the first time.
Well, shut out, mercy rule.
Yeah. Quarterback keeper, run around the right side,
well,
and it's a touchdown by David.
Well, I think it's just the 2-point conversion.
Yep. The announcer just missing that there, and 2-point conversion is good. 48 seconds. The clock is going to wind down, and I believe they're just going to let it go to the halftime locker room. And looks like they will. They're heading to the halftime. 48-0, the score at the end of the first half. The Warriors getting it done already in halftime. And we'll be back in about 30 seconds for the halftime report. The Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider, Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way, TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com, and Estate and Financial Strategies Incorporated. Welcome into the Extreme Game of the Week halftime report. I'm just give me one moment here. We'll get it switched to the proper webcam.
Wrong one.
If it'll give us a little bit.
I was
here.
taking a nap in that shot.
It might be because it's on another scene here. We'll just switch it to the game
Let's just
one.
switch
There
it
we
to
go.
live.
There we go.
See, now it's dark.
Yep, Spencer Thompson, the CCS Bench Hall of Famer, James Shannon, because you got upset at the CCS Hall of Famer last week. So as you can see by the scoreboard below us, 48-0 at the half break. And James, it's hard to say that this is what we expected. I mean, South Haven, obviously they got blown out by Webb, and they had a tough loss to Sacred Heart. So it looked like with the game we saw last week in Jackson that they were very poised to potentially do a lot better in this game. But Bowling Green has just been running it up on him. And it looks like it could be in a huge part to Emmanuel Dang being out, as well as their other guy down.
Cole Laird, yeah, that's a massive contributing factor. And you know, you look at the game last week against Sacred Heart, and it was just a back-and-forth battle. And you wonder where is Lighthouse, because if Sacred Heart can be Lighthouse and then hang with South Haven, but Bowling Green does this to South Haven, how does the North shake out? And it's so tough to figure out. But you know, it's tough for these guys. If you're South Haven, man, it's 48-0. You got to finish strong. You don't stop playing. When you stop playing, you get hurt. So you don't stop playing by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But for Bowling Green, you know, I think Coach starts filtering in some of these backups, some of these reserve guys. Because even if South Haven puts a touchdown, 2-3 on the board, yeah, it stops the mercy rule. Well, you're 13 points up on the mercy rule, so you can give up 2 touchdowns without the 2 points and still be in the mercy rule. So, you know, that's something he can do and get some of his reserve guys playing time, because that's always something you have to do. But you also have to keep in mind, like I said, they don't play until next Saturday in Suwanee. So, you know, these starters could have a week off, only play a half, and then have to wait a week and a day to get to play. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough if you're South Haven. For Bowling Green, I mean, it's a good showing for you. I mean, it's confusing because you don't know where South Haven is, so you don't know if you're beating a bad team or if you're just really, really good. You know, but you know, we'll see. Yeah, both teams are, again, like you said, the North is shaping up to be very confusing, although we know the solid is Christian Community. By the way they've played, they're likely going to lock up the #1 seed. It's just a fight for that second playoff spot, which hopefully it won't come down to a coin toss this year. But, James, you got a bunch of scoring updates for us on the Tennessee High School Football app. Let's get them on. Earlier today, 4 p.m. game, so you had FCA, St. Andrew Suwanee. Falcons pick up their first win of the year over the Mountain Lions, 30-16 or 30-13, whoever, depends on who you talk to. In Antioch, we have a game under lightning delay. It's Lighthouse Christian hosting the Tennessee Heat. The score was 14-6 with about 40 seconds left in the first half. So that game, like I said, is under lightning delay. First quarter for Christian Community Franklin Classical is also under lightning delay. That's a 13-8 game. So I'm interested to see how the two of those go. And the last update we had was it was Lancaster and Riverside. Lancaster had an 8-0 lead over Riverside. So working on that was Powerade. Working on getting updates of that game for y'all. And again, like we mentioned last night, huge win for the Tennessee School for the Deaf Vikings, traveling down to Spartanburg, picking up the win. So congrats to those guys. First game since October of 2016. Just you gotta love it. You gotta love, you know, the way that they played. I mean, they've got some beasts. I'm trying to. I mean, they're running back. So I don't think I told you this yet. Top running back last night for Tennessee School for the Deaf, DJ Cross, and I don't know what grade he is. 13 carries, 213 yards, 5 touchdowns. Madden numbers. So very much so. And again, you don't know if it's because South Carolina is bad or is Tennessee School for the Deaf really good. But that'll get sorted out. Of course, they play again next Thursday in Knoxville this time, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's very good on all the 8-man football actions shaping up around MTAC, as well as the only independent team we cover as of now, because we need more independent 8-man football teams around the league. Yeah, they're in a league. They're just not an MTAC. That's right. They're not they're non-MTAC teams. They're the only non-MTAC team we cover at the moment, but. 48-0 the score at the half. Bowling Green leading over South Haven. We will be back in about 8 minutes for the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. The second half coming up.
Welcome back to the Western Kentucky University, the Hattie L. Patterson Intramural Sports Complex. Spencer Thompson.
I think it's the Hattie T. Preston.
I'm looking over here. Hattie L. Preston. That's what it says on the
I've
scoreboard.
always said Hattie T. Preston.
So in other words.
It is L.
So in other words.
Cotton picking by golly.
Spencer Thompson, James Shannon on
and a
call.
better camera. It's a three. It's a three-man effort.
I'm trying to get my introduction
Go ahead.
here, man. Spencer Thompson, James Shannon on
like
call.
Having a second wife.
Look. I know the game. I know the game is going to the mercy rule at this point. But come on, man. Spencer Thompson.
Hey, listen, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
What?
You said go ahead, and then hey, listen, y'all.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Huge update. So Webb is playing an 11-man game. Let me get this kickoff real quick.
So we'll do the device default on here for the Elgato. It should be up in just a moment. At the kickoff, and the mercy rule is already commenced. And 48-0. There we go. 48-0 at the start of the third quarter. I'll get that updated.
So Webb is playing an 11-man game against Middle Tennessee Christian, who's picked up 2 huge wins against the Kings Academy and Grace Christian from Leapers Fork, which you might remember played 8-man for 2 years. In the third quarter, Webb leads Middle Tennessee Christian 13-8. So Webb's first ever 11-man game, or I said people want to say first in like 50 year, whatever. First 11-man game, they're leading a powerhouse, a traditional 11-man team.
So a big lead there as a rush on the right side for the Warriors. Tripped up, and that's Dave. That's David. They call that David Crow, 45, on the rush. But Spencer Thompson, James Shannon on call. Proud to be here for 8-Man Extreme for the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week. We're hoping for a more competitive game, and we may see that later if South Haven tries to fight back at all. But at least as of right now, Bowling Green leading 48-0.
And I like this move from Coach Brown. It's like I said earlier. He's got to start filtering those backups in, giving them reps, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. By the way, again, want to thank all y'all for watching tonight.
Yeah, all peak 20 of you right now, 18 tuning in.
Oh!
Almost an interception
in and out of
by
the hands
Drew
of
Atkinson.
Drew.
Drew Atkinson, you got the right name there. See, I'm holding the roster right here. It's hard. James hardly looks over my shoulder. He just knows. He lock and keys in his mind.
I don't have a life. I know everybody.
Let's see. Yeah.
Except for Bowling Green in these jerseys.
Oh, well.
I couldn't tell you. Now, put them in their away jerseys, I'd tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Bam, bam, bam,
if
bam,
he sees
bam.
the numbers, yeah, he associates a number with
6,
a person per
Tanner
team.
Brown. 18, Riley Davis. 7, Gage Holman. 20, John Stock. 19, John Stock. I'll tell you, bam, 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 bam.
Who's their center?
It's either Ben Thomas, number 25, or Cameron B, number 24.
There's no 25. There's no 24.
Okay, well, Ben Thomas changed numbers on me. He's number 23. Or maybe he's always been 23.
Flag in the backfield.
By the way.
It's black.
Nice
We're
job
move
there,
back.
James. Nice job there, James. I'm telling you, that's when
I got PA timing. Yes.
You're just enjoying that from the All-Star game, aren't you? Just having a little bit of All-Star game fever.
It stays in your blood.
Yep.
Shout out to Spencer Baird here on the sideline, former BGCA alum. Hold up. Gotta get a shot of Spencer there.
Spencer Baird
running the crew. How
How
about Spencer coming back to his alma mater and running the chains?
Well, running the down indicator, actually.
One of the
chains
better,
are right there.
one of the better
Left.
players for Bowling Green so far in their young history. 2-time All-Star wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. 2-time wide receiver.
Rightfully so
All-Star.
as well.
Indeed. Bowling Green is going to take it on the left side here. Pitch. And again, that's Riley Davis again. Potential All-Star in the making.
2-time All-Star, and I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it one bit. He is absolutely proven his worth for several years. Well, I say several years, for the last 2 years, or last year and this year for sure. Along with Gage Holman and John Stock and the whole rest of the crew.
So the Warriors just trying to continue their rushing of the ball to just keep the clock will continue to run, obviously, but trying to continue it as it's punted away. And back to receive, Nathan Starnes picks it up, going on the left. Nathan Starnes, the good return, stopped at about the 40-yard line, and there is an injured Bowling Green player.
That is one of the bright spots if you're South Haven. That's one of the bright spots is you've got a great return man in Starnes.
There is a return. There is an injured player for Bowling Green on the far side. The clock is continuing to run.
And I was under the impression that the clock stopped for injuries, but I guess
well, it looks like they managed to get him on the sideline, so he's not on the field to play during the injury, so that's why they haven't stopped the clock.
Spencer, it looks like Franklin Classical is going to move to 0-4 if they don't change. Jackson Daughter, 50-yard run. Christian Community leads 27-8.
Rush on the right. South Haven getting stuffed on the rush for second down and 5. You know what, James? Since it's we'll wait till the fourth quarter since the clock's running down. I was going to say we could get the shot of the coaches now, but we can wait until the fourth.
Middle Tennessee Christian has put a touchdown on the board, so they lead Webb 16-13 in the third quarter. Still a crazy situation where Webb just 8-man football since 2011. They just got a crazy whim. They're Tito Bosta in all their other sports, and they play MTCS in all the other sports. So I said, you know what? They've got a bye week with Concord Christian backing out. Let's get a game with them and showing up.
So rush on the right side. Slide to the 37-yard line. That's a rush by Ray Lopez.
That's interesting. And just saw Frankie Gagliano getting some reps at quarterback here in the second quarter, or second half rather. Looks like Andrew Crawley is going to move out to another position, unless that was just a freak Wildcat situation. He's out there on the field, which kind of have to because they don't have a whole lot of guys here on the sideline.
They probably just have him at the Wildcat position, trying to see where.
No, he's going back to quarterback.
Yep, Gagliano at quarterback. I'm not seeing where Crawley is on the field, actually. And Gagliano trying to push it through again. Crawley not on the field. I believe he's sitting here on the sideline.
He's over here on the far side getting treated. Looks like he had an injury situation, so he's over here.
He's got
the far side.
Got his shoulder pads off, so they're back up Frankie Gagliano.
We're going to respect his privacy.
Of course.
Not take a shot.
I wonder when MTAC will get those pop-up doctor's boots like the NFL does and college does.
Good question. But there's 2 tents over here already, so I can put them up underneath the tent.
So hoping, of course, that Andrew Crawley has a swift recovery from whatever injury.
Let's see what they've got with Frankie
series.
Gagliano at quarterback.
Yes. Gagliano looking for the pass, toss on the right, and incomplete, intended for Eric Sordo. 4.5 left to go in the third.
Like I said, if you're South Haven, you just want to get out of this ball game. Of course, Gagliano, little gimpy. But get you another update. Wow, Micah Jones, another touchdown pass from Nathaniel Rowley, 47 yards. Christian Community now leads 35-8. Christian Community looks like they'll move to 4-0.
So second down and 10, rushed up the middle. And it's Ray Lopez on the rush. And third down and about 6. So the South Haven bench staying energetic and encouraging their guys along, despite the huge score for Bowling Green and good mentality for South Haven to have when they're down this much.
Yeah, and again, you can't stop playing because that's when you get hurt. You have to keep going. You have to stay energetic. You gotta try. You gotta keep trying. That tells coach a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gagliano.
Oh, man.
And, we talked to some of the South Haven seniors and some of the people last year of how when Coach Jason Zimmerman came in, he completely changed the mentality of the Patriots from their 2016 season. He changed that mentality, got them fired up, and challenged the seniors, especially all year, to perform at their very best. And they did, winning an MTAC championship last year.
Well, and 2 years ago, Xavier Vincent was having a lot of injury problems. They had some leadership issues. They couldn't really get their quarterback situation figured out, and they finally did. Xavier Vincent was healthy. They got Isaac Wells from Texas, El Paso, Texas. He transferred in, and they were able to get some weapons and get some stuff going and have a great year. But I almost think it's harder, the situation they face right now.
The referee almost making a catch there.
For real. There's a young guy over here on the side. That's a really young guy. John Stock talking to him like you might know him.
But you were saying
But I was saying, I don't know which situation is tougher, coming from being winless to trying to turn around the culture, or coming from the season you had last year being state champions and coming into a year like this where you're going to have inexperience in youth and you're going to struggle. And being 0-3, now after the ball game's over, I don't know which one is a tougher situation to try to work with. And that would really be an interesting question for the coach.
We'll definitely see. And again, Zimmerman, he completely changed the mentality of the Patriots. It's obvious to tell with them winning the MTAC championship by 3, and for them to go through the adversities they did during the regular season and through the playoffs. The Patriots, defending MTAC champions, barring a miracle, they're going to drop down to 0-3. The big sack made by Inseo Savar. Close.
Savar.
I'll get it at some point.
Hold on. We have Insa Savare. Update from Lancaster Riverside. Lancaster leads 24-8, and it's probably second or third quarter there. Nice great update from Jared Trahan there.
Jared Trahan helping us with the
appreciate that, Jared.
Out there.
OG All-Star.
So it's second down and about 20 with the sack. It's about over a minute left to go in the third. The clock now exactly accurate to the scoreboard right now. There's a rush up the middle, flag thrown in the backfield. Big rush up the middle for none other than Riley Davis. Finally brought down, but we'll get this flag in the backfield.
First down, Bowling Green, Kentucky Warriors.
So looks like the referee's mic. I think that lapel mic finally died, James. It's a good game for it to die on, of course, but
let's see what he's.
Yeah, he announced the penalty already. I think.
Yeah, batteries might be dead. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean those aren't the only batteries that have died tonight. But it's at least good.
Holding 46.
There's life.
Replay second down.
So holding on the offense, that big rush by Riley Davis.
Call him the Undertaker because they're back.
Sheesh. All right, that's the end of the third quarter. 48-0, the same score at the start of the half. And the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com. And I believe I accidentally took off one of the...
Can you give me that other battery?
I believe I accidentally took off one of the logos on here. My apologies to one of our great and recent sponsors. There we go. Nope, that is the theme song. Did I take off the logo? Looks like it accidentally got off. My apologies to one of our sponsors on that one. Trying to remember the company's name since they're so recent. Hank Parrott.
But a big shout out to another company supporting the broadcasting of 8-Man football.
Of course. Now let me see here. Did I move it to another source? That must be what had happened because it said it was on. Let's see, replay games. Oh, I must have moved it to another source by accident here, guys. Ah, there it is. It's on one of the BRBs there. Let me see what we got.
Let's make some noise, Kentucky. Gonna replay that second down. Second and 30 yards to go.
Of course, the fourth quarter starting here for. There we go. Got the logo back. Estate and Financial Strategies Incorporated. Special thanks to them for
Huge shout out to them.
for being a recent sponsor. My apologies about that logo disappearing in the corner for some reason, it getting off. And we are back to football action. The clock continues.
In just
to
a
run
second.
down.
We'll be back in just a second.
We are right on the field and switching out a battery, and we will be good to go.
You not only get play-by-play of the game, you get play-by-play of what we're doing with the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
That's how in depth we are.
I don't know if you I don't know if you've seen. There are several highlights on YouTube of the funniest calls that sports guys have made, and there was one guy who was calling for Westwood One during a Monday Night Football game where the 49ers blew out the I think it was the then St. Louis Rams. It was the fourth quarter, about 21-0, and he literally did play-by-play of a fan, inebriated fan who went on the field. He's like, he takes off his shirt. He's going to the 30, the 40. He's drunk, but they won't stop him. He's going to the 30, running around, and he's finally tackled at the 20-yard line.
My favorite one of those is when they've got like a squirrel or a cat, or like they had the rally goose a couple months back in baseball. Those are my favorites.
Baseball games are always fantastic.
Because there's nothing going on.
You are going to trigger so many fans with saying that. You're going to make so many people
I love
tune
baseball.
You just said because there's nothing going on.
I love baseball.
He
There's a punt.
could have been a safety if the Patriots had rushed him a little bit more there, or potential touchdown recepted in the backfield on the return. And Nathan Starnes on the right side as the clock continues to wind down. Let's go ahead and get a shot at Jason Zimmerman here, James. Let's get the coaches' shots out of the way.
I think we can make that happen.
So we already talked about him earlier, but Coach Jason Zimmerman, you know, there's not a bad thing we could say about any of the coaches in the league because all of them are fine, upstanding men leading these guys in high school. But Coach Jason Zimmerman, in his second season, he's overall 8-3. Unfortunately,
Just to be clear, he's the guy moving around a whole bunch.
That's right. Unfortunately, he will move to 8-4 after tonight. But Coach Jason Zimmerman changing the mentality entirely of the South Haven Patriots after their winless season last year. He was 8-1 on the regular season record to go on and win the MTAC Championship. Their only loss, which they got vengeance for, was against the Christian Community Colts.
Let me update that FCA Swanee. It is confirmed it was 30-13.
30-13.
Falcons picking up first win of the year and a big MTAC South win.
And let's go ahead and get a shot of Don Brown, the coach who's going to get his first win in the North, at least first win in the North here in the 2018 season. So that's Coach Don Brown on the sideline. You could find him, James. There he is.
There he is.
There's Coach Don Brown. Overall record in his third season of 11-11 going into tonight. It will be 12-11 after tonight, so he'll have a positive record going.
First time in his career.
Yep.
Dead ball.
No. So false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
And he was
5
one
yards.
of the first ever coaches for the Extreme All-Star game. He was one of the head coaches in
second down.
2016.
So Don Brown, the first. One of two first head coaches in the All-Star, the first 8-man football All-Star game of Tennessee
And Kentucky.
and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's
right.
other All-Star games, but
That's right.
in Tennessee and Kentucky, yes, first
So
ever.
Don Brown will move to a positive record after the season, and we'll of course get the post-game interview with him live on Instagram.
Oh, he almost got
Fumbled catch intended for Ethan Barnahill. It's incomplete as the clock
Bobbled
continues to run
catch.
down. Any closing thoughts really on this game, James? I mean, we'll talk about it in the post game, but are there anything else you could give insightful for this?
Yeah, I think if you're South Haven, of course you've got a bye next week, and then it's like we talked about. You got a bye next week. You got 2 tough home games coming up. The Heat, which, fun fact, South Haven has never played the Heat in regular season action. They faced them in a jamboree back in 2012, but they've never played the Heat in regular season action. So first ever matchup in 2 weeks between those two, and then of course a rematch of the championship, which it's not looking good for South Haven, just being honest. It's not looking good, but and then of course Lighthouse, who might pick up the win tonight, and FCA, who picked up a win. So you don't have an easy schedule if you're South Haven, but you just got to just push through. You got to try to make sure that Manny Ding can get healthy, Cole Laird can get healthy, and that's really what you're focusing on if you're South Haven.
What about his Bowling Green, James? You go here, you get obviously a motivational factor to blow out the defending MTAC champions 48-0. But what other motivation can you see, especially for them going against Suwannee, Christian Community, and Lighthouse all 3 games in a row?
Well, if you just start with this game, you see that South Haven, they pick up their first. Let's get this play. They pick up their first MTAC North win, which is huge, especially after losing to the Heat. It really, really helps out. But, you look at their schedule upcoming in Suwannee. They're 0-2 now. They're going to be reeling a little bit. You've got your go-to Christian Community, which that game is the week before. Let me make sure I got this correct. The week before they match up against South Haven Christian. So if you're Bowling Green, you are, if you're South Haven rather, you're massive Bowling Green fans in 2 weeks when they play Christian Community School. But Bowling Green, like I said, at Suwannee next week, they're reeling a little bit at South Haven or CCS, and then they've got a home game against Lighthouse Christian here, and then Sacred Heart of Jesus comes here after a bye week, and then Riverside travels here. So a heavy, heavy home schedule for Bowling Green Christian, and I think that can really play to their advantage. They've been really good at home. They're 3-1 at home. I don't know how you beat that.
So only 2 away games on the season for the
Bowling Green.
Excuse me, 2 away games only for Bowling Green this season, as the Warriors call a timeout with 5:16 left to go in the game. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week is brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. TennesseeHighSchoolFootball.com and Estate and Financial Strategies Incorporated. So back as the clock will wind down in just as soon as the ball is snapped, and the mercy rule will continue to run down as Bowling Green again gets a rush up the middle.
A couple updates for you. Middle Tennessee Christian has put another touchdown on the board. They pull away from the Webb School 26-13. Jackson Daughter, another touchdown run. It's now 43-8. Christian Community leading Franklin Classical.
With that reception.
A lot of blowouts tonight. And obviously still waiting on an update from Lighthouse Christian and the Tennessee Heat. Last thing we heard was it was under a lightning delay.
Rush on the pass on the right side here. You know, James, we already talked about how competitive the North is looking this season and how, freely open the South is. I know you gave your predictions already. A lot of people are extremely favoring Christian Community to go #1 seed and get the hosting rights for a second consecutive year. Get hosting rights for that MTAC semi-playoff.
Third year. They hosted Franklin Classical.
2016, they got knocked out of the playoffs by Sacred Heart.
You're right. They were in the MTAC Bowl.
Yeah, they were in the MTAC Bowl. They hosted it, yeah. Well, they technically got to the postseason there, but the playoffs.
I was thinking 2015.
Potentially their second consecutive year. It'll be their fourth consecutive year making it to the postseason. But
well, it'll be their however many year. I don't think they've never missed the playoffs until 2016 when they went to the MTAC Bowl. But in terms of postseason,
that's what I'm saying.
They've
postseason.
never missed the postseason.
They have never missed a postseason in their history, but they are potentially going to host their second playoff game consecutively. And
here's the big question: are they going to host Webb, who they have a favorable record against, or are they going to host Lancaster for the first time ever? And we could see a matchup.
If Webb and Lancaster are the ones who are number 1 and number 2 seed, they're highly favored for it, but always the potential of another team pulling off an upset.
You know what would be such poetic weirdness? If Webb gets the number 1 seed and hosts Sacred Heart, who pulls the number 2 seed.
That would
go against my totally go against my prediction of the Tennessee Heat getting the 2nd seed, which I think they will. But some poetic justice. Hey, listen, I would not be against Lancaster picking up the 1 seed, Heat number 2 seed, seeing another Lancaster Heat game, and then seeing CCS Webb.
That would be fantastic.
That would be a classic postseason. And then you've got Sacred Heart and could be Riverside, maybe Sacred Heart Riverside in the South.
You're talking about for the MTAC Bowl. Yeah, Sacred Heart Riverside maybe host that down in Riverside. Who knows? I mean, we
love Knight Stadium.
Oh
so
yeah,
we would love to do a game down there.
Almost every stadium.
And really,
in the
Sacred
league
Hearts.
is great.
Sacred Hearts. You know, I know y'all went there last week. It's gotten so much better than it used to be. So, shout out to Knight Stadium and FMY Field. Both of y'all are awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking to like the actual fields like they're entities.
This copyrighted football field is it private for the private use of our audience?
That's my new phrase. True dat.
Yep, true that. And it's football time in Tennessee. And see ya.
Hey, that's my line.
I was quoting you. I wasn't
you don't
stealing
even get to quote me.
Hey, I wasn't stealing it. I wasn't stealing like Wayne and Isaiah have done in the past.
Intercepted there by
Drew Atkinson.
Yeah.
Big interception made in the sideline for South Haven going
Good
crazy.
positive play there for South Haven.
Oh, yeah, love South Haven sideline encouragement on there, loving that interception.
I know they had a lightning delay, but how about this for a long first half? Just now halftime.
Timeout. White.
Just now halftime between CCS and Franklin Classical on their homecoming night, so a little bit of extra time.
So they're winding down the clock even though there was a timeout called.
And traditionally, I'm not going to be here on the call for color commentary, but we did give Isaiah and Wayne the night off. They worked so hard and gave them the night off to go to their alma mater's homecoming. Spencer will be off in a couple weekends, and I'll have a couple weekends off. We alternate.
Yeah, I won't be off for FCA's homecoming, but I will be off for.
I think they host Classical for the homecoming.
Riverside
for the homecoming.
Yeah,
I do host Classical.
I looked at it out of interest in today. Looked at an interest today to see how the game was, see what the game schedules were, and turns out that FCA's homecoming is against Riverside the following week after they.
That's a huge rivalry game. I'll give you another crazy stat. Riverside has never beat Franklin Christian. Could this be the first year? Maybe.
Anything is possible.
Anything's possible.
But especially with the dominant forces of John Trahan and Riley Hall, it's going to be. But you've got the rush game of Riley Hall and John Trahan, and you've got that against John Buchanan. So it's going to be a matter of whose defensive line is better.
Matchup. It's a crazy, crazy matchup.
It's a crazy matchup.
I said crazy, but Creasy works.
Yeah, Creasy works. He's probably going to.
And that could be Adam Good game.
That could very much be so. James will be going down to the field. I'll operate the camera for the last little portion here for
just to give you all behind the scenes.
Yeah, we'll just give you a little bit of a behind the scenes as here goes Gagliano. And James is going to head down on the field for the post game. He's not going to do it yet. He'll do it on the post game. But James is going to go down there for the post game live. Go to our Instagram 8Man Extreme, and you will be able to see our live feed for the post game. We'll get an interview with Coach Don Brown.
by Levi. First down for the Patriots.
And they'll stop the clock.
Timeout, White.
So timeout called by the Patriots. 48 seconds.
Timeout on the play.
And again, the South Haven Patriots keeping the motivation up even with a little bit of time left. So 48 seconds left to go in the game. The Warriors just wrapping it up here in Bowling Green. Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Tennessee High School Football.com, and State and Financial Strategies Incorporated. James getting a shot of me on Instagram Live there for the post game. Didn't need to do that, but you know how James is with social media. James Shannon, the producer for 8 Man Extreme, does make it happen. So a timeout called by South Haven, 48 seconds left. They're trying to get something going on offense here, maybe get one score in. South Haven. Gagliano at the quarterback position is going to rush up the middle, and it'll be stuffed. This clock has run down. Crawley on the sideline. He got his shoulder pads taken off. Clock winding down. The Patriots are trying to get something going here on second down at 5. So Gagliano in the shotgun, looking to get at least one thing on here. Deep pass on the left side. It is caught. Big reception. Drew Atkinson short of the end zone. They stop the clock with 5 seconds left.
Warriors.
They do stop the clock with 5 seconds left.
Timeout, White.
Timeout called by the Patriots with 5 seconds left. So the Patriots are trying to get one score before the end of the game to prevent a shutout.
Could be our last play here.
So likely the last play of the game.
First and goal for
As the Warriors trying to get one of their first shutouts. I believe they've had other games shut out in their history, but their first shutout of the 2018 season here at home, pending the first down and goal play here.
Let's make some noise, Kentucky now.
So the final play of the game. Gagliano in the shotgun. Gagliano going to rush it up the middle, and he will be stopped. Ball is loose, and the Warriors fall on it. That will end the game. 48-0, the score at the end. The Warriors shut out the defending MTAC champions. South Haven goes to 0-2 on their in-division record and 0-3 on their season. We'll see you for the Instagram Live post-game report. And again, on behalf of James Shannon, all the hardworking men and women who make 8 Man Extreme successful, I'm Spencer Thompson. Thank you for joining the Kingdom.com Extreme Game of the Week, which has been brought to you by Kingdom.com, the ministry technology provider. Grace Point Healthcare, modern medicine the old-fashioned way. Tennessee High School Football.com, and State and Financial Strategies Incorporated. So we will see you in just a moment on Instagram Live for the post game.